Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big ideas behind major business wins.
So, you've got a great new product. That's awesome. But here's the million-dollar question. How do you get anyone to notice when you're starting from absolute zero? That's what we're tackling today. It all kicks off with something called the cold start problem. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You've got this amazing new product, right? But online, you're a ghost. You've got no reviews, no sales history, zero buzz. You're basically invisible.
And look, getting someone to buy something isn't a straight line anymore, not even close. Today's customer journey is this tangled, winding road. Just think about it. People are interacting with a brand over 20 times, 20, before they even consider clicking buy.
And with all those touch points comes a ton of noise. It's just a wall of sound. In fact, a massive 91% of us see irrelevant ads every single day. That's the static, right? That's the noise your brand new product has to somehow cut through.
So how do the smart brands do it? How do they break through? Well, they stop focusing only on the finish line, the sale. Instead, they play the long game with what's called a full funnel strategy. Basically, they're there for the entire journey, from that first hello to, tell me more, all the way to add to cart. And it works. The numbers show this approach gives you twice the brand lift. It's a huge difference.
Okay, so to make this super concrete, let's dive into a real-world example. We're going to look at the beauty brand Tree Hut because they stared this exact challenge right in the face and won.
So you might know Tree Hut. They're famous for their body scrubs, right? Super popular. But they decided to do something pretty risky. They jumped into a completely new product category for them, hand care. And this wasn't just, a new flavor of what they already do. This was a whole new ballgame. And that meant a whole new set of challenges.
And their Associate Director of Integrated Media, Sarah Craig, she put it perfectly. She said they were facing a dual-ended challenge. Think of it like this. On one side, they had to get their loyal, diehard fans to say, okay, I trust you with this new thing. But on the other side, they had to introduce themselves for the very first time to a whole new group of shoppers who probably had no idea who Tree Hut even was.
So, faced with this challenge, what do? They didn't just hope for the best. Nope. They got strategic. They set some really clear, ambitious goals. They needed to make a ton of noise, they had to connect with those new shoppers, get people genuinely interested in the product, and, the big one, start making sales fast. And this is the really smart part. For them, this wasn't just about selling some hand wash. No way. They saw the bigger picture. This was a chance to grow the entire brand, to bring new people into their world, and really expand what Tree Hut meant to everybody.
Okay, so the goals are set. Now for the fun part. Let's dig into the nitty-gritty of how they actually built this winning campaign using Amazon ads.
So remember that full funnel idea we talked about? They built their entire campaign around it. It's all about creating this smooth path for the customer. Think of it in 3 simple steps. Step 1, awareness. People have to see you. Step 2, consideration. This is where you tell your story and they start to trust you. And step 3, purchase. You make it super easy for them to take it home.
And what I love about their approach is the mix of tools they used. It was like a perfectly crafted recipe. They didn't just do one thing. They used streaming video to grab your attention, display ads to stay top of mind, sponsored ads for people who are ready to buy, that new and notable designation to create some serious buzz, and they even threw a live event with influencers to really build that community feel. And you see, they really leaned into video and influencers, and there was a really good reason for that. They knew exactly who they were talking to. Gen Z is way more likely to follow influencers, and shoppers who watch Amazon Live events feel way more confident about what they're buying. So Tree Hut didn't try to force people to come to them, they just went where their audience was already hanging out. Smart, right?
And this just shows you how much they cared about the details. This wasn't just about slapping some ads up. They were crafting a single, consistent, really compelling story everywhere. The description on a video, the photos on the product page, it all fit together perfectly to create this experience that you just couldn't ignore.
Okay, so the strategy was solid. The execution was brilliant. But did it work? That's the big question, right? Let's look at the numbers.
The results were, wow, just staggering. We're talking 220 million impressions in just 12 weeks. To give you some context, that is 8.5 times more than their forecast. They didn't just make a splash, they created a tidal wave.
And all that visibility, it translated directly into sales. Fast sales. They hit their first major goal, selling 1,000 units, 41% faster than a typical launch. That's the kind of momentum, that rocket fuel, that every new product launch is looking for. And here's the kicker. Remember that two-front challenge they had? They absolutely crushed both goals. Most of the sales came from people who had never bought from Tree Hut before. And their new hand wash shot right into the top 50 of its category. I mean, think about that. For a product that was brand new just a few months earlier, that is a huge win.
So for the team at Tree Hut, this was just proof. Proof that their big bet paid off. It showed that when you take the time to tell a great story and connect with people at every step, you get much, much bigger results than if you just focus on that final click. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Let's break this down into a playbook, some key takeaways you can use for your very next launch.
Takeaway number 1, and this is the big one. A full funnel campaign is not optional anymore. It's not a nice to have, it's absolutely essential. You have to be there for the whole journey, building that trust right from the start.
And the second key takeaway, something Sarah Craig said that really nails it, is that it's all about the combination. Yeah, you have to shine a big spotlight on your new product, but you also have to back it up with real, authentic storytelling that makes people trust you. One without the other, it just falls flat.
So at the end of the day, launching a product isn't just about selling stuff. It's about launching a story that catches on and builds its own momentum. And that really brings us to the big question you should be asking yourself. What story does your next big thing need to tell?